and DD News.
Hello and welcome to the news for the hearing impaired. I'm Abhishek Mahajan and with me is my colleague Manisha. First up, the headlines. 21st Kargil Vijay Divas is being celebrated today to commemorate the success of Indian Army's Operation Vijay against Pakistan. Raksha Mantri, CDS and 3 service chiefs to pay tributes at National War Memorial. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh salutes the brave soldiers of Indian Army on the 21st anniversary of Kargil victory, expresses gratitude to those who laid down their lives in the service of the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the nation through 67th episode of Mann Ki Baat, program to be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, also on the YouTube channels of Prime Minister's Office, Information and Broadcasting Ministry, AIR and DD News today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews the PM Swaniti scheme, says it will have a transformative impact on the lives of street vendors. Flood situation in Assam improves marginally. One more death reported in Morrigaon district in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll to 97. In Bihar, around 10 lakh people affected from floods in 10 districts. IMD predicts heavy rains in different areas of the state for the next 2 days. Global corona cases surpassed 1.61 crore with 6.47 lakh fatalities worldwide. USA continues to be the worst hit country with 43.1 lakh cases, followed by Brazil with 23.9 lakh confirmed cases. Now news in detail. The nation is celebrating 21st anniversary of the victory in the Kargil war today. On July 26, 1999, Indian Armed Forces secured one of the most dramatic and hard-fought victories in history. Each year, India remembers its brave hearts on 26 July, celebrated as Kargil Vijay Divas. The country remembers the extreme valor, sacrifice and exemplary courage of Indian soldiers today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu paid tributes to the martyred heroes of the Kargil war who sacrificed their lives to safeguard the sovereignty and integrity of the country on the occasion of Kargil Vijay Divas. In a tweet, Vice President said, "The grateful nation will always remember their patriotism and valor." Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, in a series of tweets, paid tributes to the brave soldiers on the occasion of Kargil Vijay Divas. In a tweet, Raksha Mantri said, and I quote, "I would like to salute the brave soldiers of Indian Armed Forces who fought enemy under the most challenging conditions that world had witnessed in the recent history. My gratitude to those who laid down their lives in the service of the nation. I bow to their families who, despite losing their loved ones, remained steadfast in their support of the national resolve in driving out the enemies from our territory. I am also grateful to those who, despite becoming disabled in battle, continue to serve the country in their own ways and have set examples worthy of emulation by the nation." Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will lay wreath and pay homage at the National War Memorial on the occasion of Kargil Vijay Divas. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat and 3 service chiefs will also be present on the occasion and pay tributes to the martyrs of the Kargil war. Northern Command GOC Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi will pay tributes at Dras War Memorial in Jammu and Kashmir. Home Minister Amit Shah also paid tributes to the Kargil war heroes who sacrificed their lives to safeguard of the country. The Home Minister said, Kargil Vijay Divas is a symbol of India's proud, amazing valor and steadfast leadership. He paid tributes to brave soldiers who fought with their indomitable courage and drove the enemy from the inaccessible hills of Kargil and waved the tricolour there again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio today at 11 a.m. It will be the 67th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR news website www.newsonair.com and News on Air mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday reviewed the implementation of the PM Swaniti scheme of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. More than 64,000 out of a total of 2.6 lakh applications have been sanctioned and over 5,500 disbursed. The Prime Minister expressed satisfaction at the use of end-to-end IT solutions through a web portal and mobile app for administration of the scheme to ensure transparency, accountability and speed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the scheme should incentive use of end-to-end digital transactions by street vendors. The Prime Minister said the scheme should not be just seen from the perspective of extending loans to street vendors, but also for their economic uplift and holistic development. The government launched this scheme to facilitate collateral-free working capital loan of up to 10,000 rupees of 1-year tenure to about 50 lakh street vendors to help them restart their businesses. Loan processing has begun since July 2nd through an IT platform, PM Swanidhi, with Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. Which is the implementing agency for the scheme administration. The political upheaval in Rajasthan continues. The state's political battle is caught between the Raj Bhavan, Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, the Rajasthan High Court and the Supreme Court. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is scheduled to meet the Governor and submit a cabinet note seeking the convening of the Assembly session at the earliest. The Cabinet also took another decision to approach the President if the deadlock continued. Before the Cabinet meeting, the Congress Legislative Party met at a Jaipur hotel and expressed their complete support to Ashok Gehlot. Meanwhile, a delegation of the opposition BJP also met Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra. They discussed the situation arising due to the spread of coronavirus. BJP State President Satish Punia and Leader of Opposition Gulab Chand Kataria lead a 13-member delegation. They accused the Gehlot government of violating orders under the State Disaster Management Act that ban large gatherings due to the COVID pandemic. The political drama unveiling in Rajasthan is already in court. On July 23rd, the Supreme Court said the outcome of the High Court's judgment would be subject to its final order on the matter. The Apex Court will hear the case next on July 27th. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Saturday visited Ayodhya to review the preparations for the ceremonial beginning of construction of Grand Temple on the birthplace of Lord Ram. Yogi Adityanath visited Ram Janmabhoomi and paid his obeisance to Ram Lala. Yogi Adityanath visited the premises of Ram Janmabhoomi and took stock of the preparations for Bhumi Pujan. Yogi Adityanath also visited Hanuman Gadi and offered prayers. He also made a stopover at the Ram Mandir construction workshop, where the carving of stones for the temple has been going on for years. Yogi Adityanath held a meeting with local representatives, sadhu sant and trust members to make the event historic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Ayodhya on August 5th for the Bhumi Pujan ceremony.
दीपोत्सव की प्रेरणा हमें मिल रही है कि नहीं, अयोध्या में दीपोत्सव का कार्यक्रम होना है, जिसके पीछे इसका मतलब ये राम काज ही है और उस काज के लिए हम लोगों को अयोध्या को दीपोत्सव के साथ जोड़ देना चाहिए। और आज दुनिया में आप देख रहे हो कि पूरी दुनिया इंतजार कर रही है। देश और दुनिया में कितना व्यापक प्रभाव है अयोध्या का, और ये करने में हम सफल रहे क्योंकि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का मार्गदर्शन और अयोध्या के प्रति, देश के प्रति, भारतीयता के प्रति जो एक भाव उनके अंदर है, आज उसका परिणाम है कि शुभ मुहूर्त हम सबके सामने आ रहा है और प्रधानमंत्री जी उस गौरव को प्रदान करने के लिए अयोध्या आए।
News now from flood-affected states of Assam and Bihar. The flood situation in Assam improved marginally on Saturday as the incessant rain stopped in few areas of the state. However, one more death was reported from Morigaon district, taking the total death toll to 97 due to floods. Over 26 lakh people are affected across 27 out of the 33 districts of Assam. According to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority, Golpara continues to be the most affected district, followed by Barpeta and Morigaon. 47,772 people are taking shelter in 564 relief camps. Roads, bridges and many other infrastructure have been damaged at various places. Besides, over 1.16 lakh hectares of cropland have also been affected. In Bihar, some more areas have been inundated in flood water following incessant rain in the catchment areas of major rivers. At many places, Gandak and Kosi rivers have broken the previous records of high flood level. Over 9.60 lakh people are affected by the floods, with as many as 8 people dead in floods and related incidents. Road and rail traffic has been affected due to waterlogging on many national highways and railway lines. NDRF and SDRF teams are conducting relief and rescue work in flood affected areas. while helicopters are being used to airdrop food packets. According to the State Disaster Management Department, 271 community kitchens are being run in the affected areas for the flood victims. Meanwhile, Met Department has predicted moderate to heavy rains in different areas of the state on 27th and 28th of this month. Let's now take a look at COVID-19 updates from across the nation. India's recovery rate has shown further improvement. Recovery rate at present stands at 63.54%. A total of 8,49,431 people have recovered so far. The difference in the number of active cases and number of people who have recovered has increased to 3,93,360. The number of active cases in India is 4,56,071. The fatality rate is 2.35%, which is among the lowest in the world. Researchers at IIT Kharagpur have developed a new technology for low-cost COVID-19 tests using a portable device. The test results can be made available in a customized smartphone application for dissemination within 1 hour without requiring manual interpretation. The first of its kind equipment will cost about Rs 2,000 if used at a pilot facility, while its usage in a large-scale commercial facility will further reduce the cost with increase in the production scale. The same portable unit can be used for a large number of tests on mere replacement of the paper cartridge after each test, and the cost of test is Rs 400 per test. Further, the significant aspect is that the device does not require specialized handling. The device has been proven to produce no false result with remarkable accuracy and sensitivity compatible to standard RT-PCR test. Amid increasing cases of COVID-19, weekend lockdown is being observed in many states. Uttar Pradesh continues to observe weekend lockdown to curb the spread of the virus. Streets wore a deserted look on Saturday as most shops and businesses were closed and public transport went off roads. Only essential services and emergency travel is being allowed during the strict lockdown. The officials had earlier said that restrictions will remain in place at least for July. In Bengaluru, though the weekend-long lockdown ended earlier this week, the Sunday curfew will remain in effect till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. The state government has ordered Sunday curfew till August midweek. Only essential services and emergency travel would be allowed, and no passes would be issued, and anyone seen loitering in the street would be seriously dealt with. All forms of transport would be off roads, while malls and places of worship, etc., would remain closed. Tripura will go under 3-day total lockdown starting 5 a.m. tomorrow to break the chain of spreading coronavirus. Addressing people in a televised speech, Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Dev, he said coronavirus cases are increasing in Tripura, mainly among people who came from outside the state and those who came in close contact with them. He therefore stressed that this lockdown is necessary to remain prepared. The Health Department will conduct a house-to-house survey and antigen test of suspected patients during the lockdown. Currently, Tripura has a fatality rate of 0.29%. The fifth phase of the Vande Bharat mission will commence from 1st of next month to rescue Indians stranded abroad. This phase of Vande Bharat mission will continue till 31st August. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri in a tweet said that the detailed schedule of the mission will be shared soon. He said evacuation and outbound travel of every stranded Indian is a priority and no one will be left behind. The Civil Minister said over 8,14,000 people have returned since 6th May this year through various means under the Vande Bharat mission. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar paid tributes to the Kargil war heroes on the 21st anniversary of Kargil Vijay Divas today. The INB minister said under Operation Vijay, the brave sons of the country laid down their lives in the Kargil war and won battle against enemy. Javadekar paid rich tributes to all the soldiers who sacrificed their lives to keep the nation safe. Let's now take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. So far, more than 6.48 lakh people have died globally, while the total tally of coronavirus cases reached around 1.61 crore in the world. The situation remains worse in US and Brazil in terms of cases of infections and fatalities. Around 43.15 lakh cases have been registered in US so far, with death toll reaching to more than 1.49 lakh. Brazil trails behind US, recording 23.96 lakh infections, with death toll crossing 86,000. Meanwhile, UK ranks third in terms of death toll with more than 45,000 fatalities, followed by Mexico, Italy and France. Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro has tweeted that he has tested negative for COVID-19 in his fourth test. After being tested for the first time on July 7th with COVID-19, President underwent treatment. However, his previous 3 results showed him positive for the novel coronavirus. Bolsonaro attributed an unproven drug behind his recovery. Brazil has confirmed around 23.96 lakh cases of infections, with death toll more than 86,490. Amid COVID-19 restrictions, domestic pilgrims have arrived in Mecca for this year's Hajj. Temperature checks have been facilitated by government to ensure that the COVID-19 would not spread during the pilgrimage. This will be the first time in modern era when Muslims from abroad have been barred from attending the pilgrimage in view of coronavirus. This year's event has been limited to about 1,000 pilgrims from within Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has registered more than 2,64,970 cases of coronavirus, with death toll more than 2,700. In sports, West Indies claimed early wickets against England, but then allowed Stuart Broad to smash a quick-fire 50 before the hosts were dismissed for 369 at lunch. West Indies trailed England by 232 runs with 4 wickets in hand in their first innings at the end of day 2 in the third test in Manchester. They lost their entire top order without contributing much. As the bad light stops play in Manchester, West Indies fast bowlers broke through England's middle and lower order. England were dismissed for 369 at the lunch break. In the first hour, England added 42 runs to their overnight score at the loss of 4 wickets. Well, that's all we have in this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.
बहू कहाँ गई थी?
अम्मा